Hey, what's up, ladies and guys? Hey, today on this video, I'm going to do something I've always wanted to make or buy, and that's a set of pallet forks for the front of the 302.5 mini excavator. It could go on and off just like the bucket goes on with a quick hitch with a pin grabber. That's called a pin grabber on the front of the bucket there, and then that way I can switch it out and lift like 500, 800 pound items in the truck or out of the truck or on the trailer or off the trailer, or even at a job site if I want to move something from, you know, like I'm actually getting ready to do a retaining wall job and there's very limited space and the blocks are about 90 to 100 pounds a piece, and the pallets are going to be on that side of the yard, the wall's going to be on that side of the yard. So I figure there's not enough room to have the pallet jack or the pallet attachment on the back of my tractor, not enough really maneuvering. But if I can put it on the front of the excavator, what I could do, I'm thinking, is just pivot the excavator, walk it over 5-10 feet, put the pallet down, add, you know, load up like 10 retaining wall blocks on there, swing it over, track back over to the retaining wall in a straight line, put it down, unload. That way I'm not carrying the blocks manually back and forth, because there is a lot of blocks and I am doing this wall by myself. So we already got the concrete buggy ready to go with all new rubber tires on that. That was in another video I did. That's a pretty cool little toy I like using. And this is all ready to go except for me making that pallet jack, or the pallet forks. So what I ended up doing was getting bucket forks, the clamp on bucket forks that go on a little loader or tractor, since I have a tractor anyways. And I actually bought new bucket ears and pins and a 1/2 inch by 3 foot piece of plate steel. And I'm going to show you, I already opened up the box with the forks, so I'm going to show you my idea, and then I'll bust out the welder and try to get it welded up. And what's good about doing it this way is those pallet forks are not permanently mounted to this. So if I decide to put them on the front of the tractor on the bucket to lift up something that the tractor can lift, which is not that much, I have that option. So let me show you what I have, and then we'll get this thing started. It's not a big project, but I think it's a pretty neat idea if it works. We'll find out if it works. So here's my thought process on this. This is the type that goes on the back of a tractor, a 3-point hitch. And I was going to modify this one to put on the excavator, but then I'm compromising a perfectly good factory made unit that I've had for years that works in the back of my tractor. So this is my other option. I buy these. These are the bucket ears. I buy the pins separate. You buy these on eBay. I went to my metal guy, had him cut me a 36-inch, I think this is 10 10 or 11 inch steel, 1/2 inch thick. And then the forks. These forks, that's a stabilizer. That's supposed to go down here, but I'm gonna put it up here. These forks actually go on your tractor bucket. So you can adjust them where you want. But I'm gonna set them at 24 inches, which I already have this set to. And then I'm gonna replace this bolt with a lot shorter bolt because this is gonna be in the way of the excavator. And then I'm gonna take the bucket ears and weld them right there. So these will be welded to the plate, but the forks can come off the plate and be used on my tractor, my John Deere tractor, if I need them that way. I'm gonna try it that way. I'm also gonna try to make some way so this doesn't slide out. It shouldn't slide out if I crank them on tight enough, but still I might put a bar here. So if the plate's, you know, if I tip it down, the plate can't slide out, because these will squish down nice and tight. But if I weld a bar here, if it starts to slide and I'm not noticing, the bar should stop it. So the most important thing for today though is I want to get these ears welded to the plate, and that way I can at least try it in on the excavator tomorrow during the daylight hours. But today I want to see if I can get some of the welding done. So that's my idea. Instead of modifying this, and this weighs almost the same as this. This is a little bit heavier together because of the 1/2 inch plate. But if everything worked good, I could always take a cutting torch and cut this plate smaller and lose a lot of weight. So it's 3 feet. And if I have this set at 2 feet, I could actually lose 1/3 of the weight of the plate, or almost 1/3, just by taking my cutting torch and cutting this off. So I'd rather have it big than small right now though. All right, so that's that. Let me I'm gonna stick weld this. Let me get my stick welder out and my grinder, and we will see what we can do and tape measure and all that kind of stuff. But that's my idea. I have most of my stuff out except for my grinder, but one thing I want to measure is, I think it's 5.5 inches that I need between here and here. So we're going to go over to the excavator, which happens to be right there, and we're going to measure that. And this is a pin grab right there that grabs the pin. So it's basically from there to out here, and it is 5.5 inches. Yep. So that's as close as I can get. Let me go get a look at another bucket that's not on a machine, and that'll get me a better idea. So let's go over to the side. Let me walk real quick. Over here, see there's a John Deere with the 3-point hitch for that other forklift attachment. Here's my scrap metal pile, and here's my bucket collection. So that is right up against there, and that is right at 5.5 inches. This bucket's the oldest bucket I have, and that's at 5.5 inches. This is the newest one I have. Haven't even used it. 5.5 inches. 5.5 inches, front and back. And it does not look like it picks a certain side. It's just that these pins are on this side, these pins are on the left, those pins are on the right, these pins are on the left. So it doesn't matter, it looks like, what side I put the pinholes on, as long as the pins are on the same size. That way for convenience. All right, well, let's run back over there and set it up. Here we go. And so I need to, first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna find the center of that board, draw a center line, and then I'll find my 5.5 in between. I'm gonna put you guys up on the tripod. I don't need to hand hold it to just do that. Yep. That looks like it'll be perfect. So that's what I'm thinking about doing right there. And then don't forget the machine's gonna be on this side. So the machine's gonna grab here. And this side, this pin is higher than this pin. So it's tipped this way is the way I kind of want it. So this pin here is 4 inches. Here, I'll do it on this side for you. This pin here is 4 inches. Right there, off the plate. This one is 4.25 off the plate. It's just a little different, but I'd rather have it tipped this way so I can grab it easier with a pin grabber. This bolt won't be there. I'll put a short bolt in there. All right, let me get the grinder, grind this clean, and then I can start welding. First thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna switch my glasses. Not only do these have the shields on it, but these are progressive glasses. I can't see up close with these. These are pretty much for up close. More like reading glasses, but prescription. All right, so the only problem I see is how to get it off without it falling. And being that it's not permanently welded and it didn't break, I say I'm doing pretty good. So now I'm gonna put some welds on the outside and then I'm gonna weld the whole thing. See what we can do.
glasses on.
All right, so for some reason my welder keeps going cold, and I checked and the actual adjustment arm is actually going down. I'm gonna put the camera on that and I'm gonna set it at 140. I'm gonna start welding, and it goes pretty quick down to like 130, 115, or 120, 115. So if I'm not imagining this, I'm gonna put the camera over there and you let me know if that's what's happening, because I start off with a nice hot weld. and all of a sudden it starts getting cold and sticking, and I think that's what the problem is. So let me set the camera. $145. See? 110. I'm not imagining it. Well, I'm done for the day. I got 3 beads on all 4 sides. My welder, you can see, starts off hot and then goes cold. So this right here is not working. But what do you expect for a 60, 70-year-old welder? It's an old Craftsman. I actually have two of them. So I'm gonna check the handle. I'm gonna check the locking handle on the other one and see if I can get it to work. But as you can see, that got really hot to the point where I could not take the pins out, and then I could take the pins out, and then I couldn't take the pins out. Well, right now it's to the point where I cannot get the pins out, and they're not all the way through either. But they're in far enough where I can smash them in with a sledgehammer to get them the right way. But we're gonna leave it like this for the night, let it cool off, and worst case scenario, I always have a torch to heat it up to spin the pins. But yeah, no, it's good to go for today. As you can see, it's dark out. I got all my lights on. So instead of keeping the neighborhood up, I'm gonna shut everything down and save some electricity. All right, well, I will see you tomorrow or the next day, depending. I think it's gonna rain tomorrow, but we will see. Otherwise, I will do it the next day. All right, well, it looks like it's gonna work, and I'm happy enough with the welds where I'm not lifting humans and I'm not going underneath it. So it's just gotta lift like 500 pounds, and I think that should be fine. So we will see when I get back. All right, well, thanks for watching this long. Two things before I end this nighttime, before I shut the camera off for the night. Number one, don't weld in shorts. I was too lazy. I could feel it on my legs. Don't weld in shorts, especially extended amount of time. And the other thing is to show you how powerful heat is. Let me show you what I did to a 1/2-inch steel plate just by welding it. Just the heat alone did this. All right, let me turn the camera over. This was a brand new sheet of steel that I just welded on. Thinking I should be able to still use it. The pins are in, so I'm hoping. Plus I have a torch, so I should be able to fix it. But let me show you how powerful that heat really is. All right, so I just went and moved the plate over here. I'm gonna put you on wide angle here for a second. All right, I just moved the plate over here. It is wicked hot. Now I'm gonna see if I can show you something here. I don't know how I'm gonna hold it up. Oh, I got an idea, hold on. Wow, that's hot. Hold on, I'm gonna try to do this without getting burnt. Just gotta stay up for 1 second. Let's see. There we go. All right, take off wide angle. That was a brand new, perfectly flat piece of 1/2-inch steel. As you can see, in your off wide angle, it has a bow in it. The heat pulled this corner up and that corner up. The only place that's somewhat straight is in between the two pins, the two ears. Well, when I put weight on it, it will bend it back down, so I'm not worried about that. But yeah, that's how powerful the heat is. That's why I couldn't get the pins out. But wow. And that's still hot. Even the pin holding the pin itself, I could barely hold on to it for a while with this, with a heavy welding glove. All right, let me pick up all my welding rods. Let me finish up for the night. I will get back to you when I go to clean that up and put a coat of paint on it. Hey, good afternoon, guys. Hey, it's the next day after I welded that 1/2-inch plate with the bucket ears on it. And let me show you a little better how powerful that heat really is when you start welding. I knew it was going to happen. I should have taken better precaution for it. I should have welded a little on each side and bounced around and let the metal cool. But I get impatient and I just want to hurry up and weld. And plus with the welder going cold on me, the amps going down, I was getting annoyed. So I just started throwing weld on there. But anyways, let me show you actually the effect of it now that it's cold to the touch, and I can actually show you a little bit better. The pins still can move, so I'm not too worried about it. And I'm gonna clean it up probably with a wire wheel and then decide at that point how to handle it, if I'm even gonna try to fix it or not. All right, so yeah, let me show you how warped it is. Well, there it is sitting on the driveway, and you could actually see that this side actually bowed up and this side bowed up. The pins I'm able to hit through with a sledgehammer, so I'm gonna push them through and try to put some pins in there see if I can line up the pinhole, and then I'll probably, clean it up with a grinder. I definitely will not take the pins out, because if I take the pins out, I don't think I'll be able to get it back in there. I think there's a lot of tension right now on those pins. But once the fork is on this side and the fork is on this side, that is definitely gonna bend it, eventually bend it and put some weight on it. So that might free them up a little and correct that, but we'll see. Years ago I was given this, but my air compressor was never strong enough to actually use it. It's a handheld sandblaster, and we're gonna try it just so I can get inside there. So I've never really had the air compressor to use that, and now that I got this new air compressor that I installed, not bad. It's an 80-gallon, pretty high CFM. We're gonna see if it works. I want to try to clean up some of that slag in there from the welding. My grinder can't fit in there. So let's see. I don't even know what kind of media is in there. So we'll see. I let somebody borrow it and they returned it and there was stuff in it. So we'll see if it does anything. I forgot how much of a mess that thing makes. Looks like there's just playground sand in it, but it works really good. Look at that. It took most of the slag off. So yeah, I really don't care too much about it, but it's not bad. I'm not gonna, maybe I could hit that with a screwdriver, knock some of that off in there. I didn't want to blast sand all over my whole driveway, but I got most of it off. Works good. Yeah, I haven't used this in probably 10 years. My air compressor could never support it. And you can wear it over your shoulder, fill it up with sand. It looks like it's just playground sand. It's really fine sand in there. I let my friend use it like it had to be at least 10 years ago, actually. So it's that's good, because I'm gonna start working on my trailer one of these days, and I want to repaint it. So that'll be good. But obviously I'll do it over there in the dirt, in the parking area there, so I don't have to worry about all the sand. All right, well, let me knock some more of that off by hand, and then I'm gonna put it on the machine, see if it works. There it is. See, the reason I got to put a shorter bolt, that bolt would be hitting here. So we'll see. You can see the bend in the plate. And it has these spacers right there. So it keeps it up. So I might cut this with my cutting torch, cut this section out so it sits flat in there. I'm not sure. But I have a jackhammer over here on a pallet. This weighs about 700 pounds. I figure, you know what? I'd rather break it at home than break it at a job site. So let's see if we can pick this up. It's a lot of cantilevered weight too, so I don't think it's gonna pick it up. But we'll see. I don't think it's gonna pick it up without bending or breaking, but I'd rather test it here. I'm gonna call that a great success. I didn't think it would even pick it up off the ground because it was cantilevered so far out. All right, time for paint. All right, so now I got to get this off. You know what, I'm gonna take the forks off to do it. Because last time it fell off. So it's not that hard. And it's starting to rain, so get it inside so I can paint it. And the goal is not perfection, the goal is to just get a thick coat of paint on it. Just to help protect it from rust. So I'm just gonna grab this black Rust-Oleum and a chip brush, I think they're called. They're cheap Harbor Freight ones. They're not really for paint. Well, you can use them for whatever you want. Okay. And I'm just gonna put a whole thick coat of paint over as much of it as possible and then flip it. I'm gonna put gloves on. I just got started and I already got paint on me. Still gonna get paint on me somehow, but we're gonna make an attempt. Like I said, I'm just slopping it on there. I want as much on there as possible. I'm not looking for beauty, I'm looking for outdoor use, dependability, rust, prevent it from rusting sooner. The good part about these, I don't clean them. What happens is I throw them away when I'm done. So it's going to be about an hour. roughly an hour to 2 hours before I put another coat on. So what I'll do is I'll just take my dirty glove and put it over it like that. Don't mind all the sweat. But now that glove, I mean that paintbrush will be good in an hour, so I don't have to waste another one. And I'll throw the gloves away, put new gloves on, take the paintbrush out, pop this open, put another coat on in a couple hours, let it dry. I got the plate painted. I got a bunch of coats on it. As you can see, I just dumped it on there. There are runs and runs. It's about a 1/4 inch thick. But I got to get going. I got to get it, start using it. So I'm going to hook it up to the machine, and then I'm going to put the forks on it, and then going to put it to work. Well, I learned one thing about these plastic pallets. They sell them more expensive than wood ones, but they are garbage. If your forks don't reach all the way through, they don't lift, they bend. So this one, I can't even lift it because I have so much counterweight on the far end here, and my pallet fork only goes out to there. So this part is all gonna fall off. So there's no way I'm gonna lift this one. I'd be able to lift this one, but not the loaded plastic ones, because of they just bend. They're garbage. So I'm gonna be switching all, because here's my goal. The reason I'm trying to move these is I want to build this into all big firewood bin back here behind the shed, out of sight. So that's my goal. I'd like to transplant this tree. I really would like to eventually dig this tree out and put it in the yard somewhere. But for right now, I'm gonna get the tractor with the pallet forks on the back, and I think they're a little bit longer. I'm gonna try to move this out of here. Well, if I move everything to the back of the pallet, it works. Works good. But these plastics, anything out here will break off because the forks stop right there. But it's doing good. I don't have to hand load them.